Welcome to another RSR. Tonight, I'm reviewing Honduras 2, Bermuda 0, 7-3 on aggregate in the CONCACAF 2025 Gold Cup Prelims, Leg 2. Honduras will advance to the CONCACAF Gold Cup. They were the last team to finish out their tie. They will be team number 16 in the CONCACAF Gold Cup this summer. And they deserved it. They will join Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Guatemala, Guadeloupe, and Costa Rica in the CONCACAF Gold Cup. And they all deserve it. They all pretty much dominated at least one of the legs. Some of the ties were tight, but in the end, it all played out to how you would expect it. But Honduras 2, Bermuda 0. 7-3 global en la Copa Oro Preliminar. Partido vuelta. Honduras avanza de la Gold Cup. With that being said, pretty simple as it is. Halftime was 0-0, 5-3 on aggregate, 0-0 medio tiempo, 5-3 global. Honduras were dominant by the stats in the first half, but the way the game played out, you didn't really kind of get that feeling that Honduras were dominant throughout the whole game, but especially the first half. You kind of got that feeling like, yeah, they're doing their job, they're playing it out, they're fine with a 5 away goal, 5-3 aggregate lead. They should get through, but they kind of seemed like they were playing it a bit soft, but they weren't really. They were very dominant on the possession, on the shots. They had a good bit of shots. They had a couple of shots on goal, good bit of shots on goal as well at the half. So the stats, definitely, if you looked at the stats at the half or the stats at the end of the game, the way you watch the game, it didn't seem like it really meshes. Like, it seemed like a training exercise for most of the game for Honduras. Bermuda, they did not look as good as they did the first match. The way they played in this match, don't understand how they scored 3 goals and had the lead for a while, by the way. I don't understand that because their connection play was bad. They barely could get a foot on the ball or pass accuracy. They had a horrible pass accuracy, horrible possession. Honduras really just played this out as a training exercise for the most part. It seemed like it, I think. Yeah, they got 2 goals. Yeah, they dominated on the stats, but the domination on the stats is not how this match looked in real time. I don't think it truly tells the story. I think Honduras found this a bit easy. They walked through this. They knew they would probably go through as long as they didn't lose 3-0, and they were never in danger of that, and they never felt that way either. Second half, Jorge Benguche scores in the 53rd minute. Ball crossed in. He heads it in at the near post. 1-0. 1-0. 6-3 global. 1-0. 6-3 on aggregate. I really love that 6-3 global. What a rhyme. But Jorge Benguche scores the goal. Near post. Header bounds into the net. Was a soft header. It didn't really have that oomph, that thump to it, but it went in. And good for him. He got the goal. They have 1 goal at home, and that really put this tie to bed. But 57th minute, a couple of minutes later, Luis Palma gets a goal, taps it in on really the mouth of the goal, but taps it in. Luis Palma gets the goal. Happy for him. The former Celtic man, now Olympiacos man. He gets it. Luis Palma scores. 57th minute, 2-0. 2-0 esta noche. 7-3 global. 7-3 on aggregate. 2-0 on the night. Full time, 2-0 on the night. 7-3 on aggregate. 2-0 esta noche. 7-3 global. They get the win. They're on to the Gold Cup. Deservedly so over both legs. Well, 3 of the halves, really. But they're on to the Gold Cup, deservedly so. They get there. They do their job. They score a lot of goals to get there, but they get there, and they'll be there this summer at the Gold Cup. Full-time stats are as follows: 25 shots to 2, 6 shots on goal to 0, 75% possession, 25% possession, 702 pass to 231, 92% pass accuracy to 77% pass accuracy, 9 fouls to 10, 0 offside to 1, 1 yellow card to 1, 0 red cards to 0, 10 corners to 0. Honduras, again, their dominance by the stats, if you just looked at the stats and the score line, you'd be like, the score line would kind of give you a question mark at the top of your head like a Cubert. You'd be like, 25 shots, but 2 goals. That's kind of how, if you thought like that, that's kind of how this game went. But again, Honduras sort of played this like a training exercise. They dominated the ball. They played it forward. They had a lot of shots. But Bermuda never really threatened them. Why wouldn't you play it like a training exercise? Hell, I mean, also with the fact that the stadium was getting renovated in front of our very eyes. If you looked at some of those concourses, how dirty they were, yeah, it feels sort of like a training exercise. Nobody at the stadium in Honduras. They couldn't have played this anywhere else. They couldn't have played this anywhere else. But San Pedro Sula, they couldn't have done that. They couldn't have played this at Real España Stadium. No. But with that being said, it kind of had that feeling of just, they had to do their job. And really, they already had it done. But you always want to add a couple more on. And they did. They had a couple more goals on. They could have probably scored more, I would say. But in the end, it wasn't really that much of hard work. Bermuda never challenged them, really. And Honduras did their job. I mean, what else can you say about this game? But Honduras did their job. And it was basically felt like a training exercise for them. It really did. And you sit here and you're like, well, you know what? That sucks. When you look at the game and it's like, yeah. But why wouldn't it? When you look at everything as it is and you sit there and you're like, well, X, Y, Z, Honduras could have done more and they should have done more, but Bermuda never was going to challenge them, truthfully. And that's the story, is Bermuda were there, but were they really there? You do with that what you will, but for me, you probably expect more out of Honduras, and they didn't get it. Do with that what you will. Do with that what you will. But such is life. Honduras is through. They're the final team to qualify to the Gold Cup, and of the 16, we have a full 16 teams, and the draw will be April 10. The draw will be April 10th when it comes to this tournament. And we'll see how it gets drawn out. With that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification while subscribe, send some chats on the live streams, comment on this video, put this in playlist, share with friends and family, all that great stuff. Man of the match, Jorge Benguche. He scored the winning goal. The goal that probably put it all away, so we'll give it to him. And with that being said, I'll see you on Saturday. We have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. The international break is over for the most part. Or at least the game portion. Now it's just 3 days off. And then I'll see you on Saturday when Toronto plays against Vancouver. And early. So if it's bad, at least it was early. If it's good, well, if they win, crazy. But I'll see you 1:30 Central, 2:30 Eastern on Saturday for Toronto versus Vancouver. And there you go. I'll see you then. So after this, it's going to be a couple of days, but I'll see you later. And there you go. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. See you later.